So, welcome to I and the BIM. I'm Stefan Larsson, the founder and CEO of BIMobject, and this is actually our main blog and webinar series that talk about properties and information in building information modeling. Welcome to chapter 2. In this chapter, we will talk about how we handle and implement the different classification systems and standards on the BIMobject Cloud platform. So first of all, what is a classification? So classifications today and for a long time in the construction industry have been needed to structure project information. They first came in the 50s and 60s and were used actually to compare products and catalog and find materials and products. And they are very useful also in BIM. So a building system class definition is what the construction industry needs. There is, however, a lot of them. They are based on different concepts, but at BIMobject we have the mission to implement them all and get them integrated into the components of the model, so they are there from the beginning. And this is a little bit we're going to show in this demonstration very soon in this webinar. So examples of classifications are IFC classes that type the different components to what they are. There is UNSPCS from United Nations. We have Uniclass, popular in the UK, not elsewhere. Omniclass, which basically is a standard in many Revit applications and in the US. Master format is used very much in the US for specs, and Uniformat 2, and we have more than that. That's just a little bit of an example what we have. So with the central approach and the externalization of properties, what we do, and the concept of a single source of truth database, we can actually handle every single classification system on the planet simultaneously in our database. So the benefits of this for the BIM user is that there is consistency. In every component you download from BIMobject, there is classifications in the objects, and these are consistently built up. You can be sure that they are built from a proper database and that they have the right and the same name every single time. It also makes it easier for the user, which I will show you, to compare products, to structure the project information once you have it in your BIM software. And also, of course, later on for facility management and operations, it's crucial to get these codes in. There's also other benefits for BIM users. If you are a spec writer, you have the ability to much easier find the right specification for that particular product. So there's a lot of different things to gain for the BIM user, and the way we build it up is that everything is served to you. You don't need to add this one by one in your BIM software. It's all done and prepared in the objects. The benefits for the building product manufacturers that they have a huge challenge in following all these new classification systems also coming around. And it's not so easy to break down and understand every single classification code, and also knowing what to fill in and get everything right. This is, since we integrated inside our server, this is all by the fingertips of the BIM user, the BPMs. And the thing is that with the updating mechanism we have, and I will show, we also have a maintenance and a future-proof solution where it will work even if there is new classification systems integrated on the server. So in this chapter 2, we will not speak about the BIMobject Seek categories, and we will not speak about Etim class. And the reason for that is that these are more complex in nature. These, when these are chosen, the different categories, they actually also add a whole property set, which is unique to that product category. This is why we will have these in separate chapters. So we will now have a little bit of a demo of the BIMobject Cloud. We will do some updating of the BIM objects with a new classification. So let's head over to Google Chrome. Yes, so here we are in the BIMobject Cloud. We see that there is new products added. We can go in and look at the waterproofing system for inaccessible flat roofs. So first of all, I will explain to you how the externalization works. So under the classification tab, you have a lot of different classifications. These are more or less everything we have right now, very well performed BIMobject here. So you can see that very often the codes are numeric code or unique numeric code together with some letters sometime, and then there is a description. This is more or less going the same concept with every single classification systems. And these data you are seeing here, this is the data in the product container. This is the externalized data. If we want to look at the downloads, we can download, in this case, a Revit file. If we want to see that the actual classifications are the same inside the spaces, we can then go in and use the spaces. This is our technology, what we developed based on Forge, where you can also have the ability to actually look into the components, and you have the ability now to also look at, here you see the MBS reference description, the Omniclass code, Uniclass code, and so on. And this is actually then looking at the actual file that you download. So this is just an example how it can look like. So I mentioned that for the BIM user it's very convenient. So what happens here when you browse components, that when you first choose an overall category, in this case flooring, you're getting a massive amount you have more than 1,000 product families from 62 brands. So this is of course a lot of work scrolling through. But if you look at the left side, actually now you have the ability to go in and add a filter. So with this filtering technique, you can now go in and say, hey, I would like to have structural floors and flat roofs, which is in then the Omniclass 23, 13, 35, 23. But instead of trying to figure that out, we help you with all the text and what's available. So now I apply that filter. So there's two filters now. So there is the overall category flooring, and then there is structural floors and flat roofs. That you now see that we have components that match this criteria from Tata Steel and from Steel Deck. So that's another feature that you can do. So it's very important also for building product manufacturers that publish components on BIMobject Cloud, that they really fill out all the different classification systems. Because if users are searching for classes and you have not done your homework building product manufacturers, you will not show up, and this is very important to know. So let's play around a little bit. So I have my own brand, I have my own product. I built this actually for a long time ago in Mosquito. It's a barrack, so it's a site construction assistant help. So if we look at my classifications, I have done almost all my homework. Also, you can see I have made it available. In this case, we will use Archicad, a BIM system from Graphisoft, to showcase. And you see I downloaded this component. You can also see that edition number 3 is here. So there have been made changes as we go along. So actually going now into Archicad, it's quite interesting to notice that if we take some check on this one, we can see that there is edition number 3 very well. You can also very quickly see that there is actually the same structure with the links, with related material. And of course, it's a pity you can't click on these in Archicad. So that's something Graphisoft definitely need to change, so you can go directly to these URLs, which you can, by the way, in all the other competitive software. So that's pretty weird. Classifications, you can also see that there is Omniclass code and Omniclass description created as a property. However, there is no value. And of course, this value is something that manufacturers should put in. If the manufacturer don't put it in, obviously you can add it in your BIM model. You can add it later on in your databases and so on. But to get everything to work very smoothly, of course, this is something we need to address from the manufacturer. So going back, actually, just to have a quick look at how complex it is for the building product manufacturers to keep up to date with all these different classification systems. So just Omniclass, just downloading a class will download a big zip file. You have to look through in other systems. Uniclass, the same. UNSPC, it's very big database. IFC is quite easy actually, and then you have master format and so on. So it's a lot of different sites to try to figure out how this works. And if you would do your components, if you would develop and update and maintain your components without a platform like BIMobject, you would have to do this file by file. You would have to sit and go through every Archicad file, every Revit file, one by one and updating this. And you would also have to copy paste from these databases and try to figure out which one is the correct one. So let me show you the BIMobject way. So you see I'm logged in and I'm the owner of this brand. It means that I can now go in and in the administration mode. So I go in and click edit, and this means that what I'm looking at now is actually straight into the database and straight into the externalized property information for this particular product, the demo barrack. So as I mentioned, we will not talk about BIMobject categories or ETIM class in this one. You can see that there's things chosen for IFC, Kobe type, Uniclass is chosen, and obviously let's look at Uniclass 2015, and just by clicking here, you're actually opening up all the tables. So you can actually see we have 11,770 entries here. So just going in and searching, you can actually start clicking, and you see that with the title or the descriptor construction, you have approximately 26 actually exactly different titles or classes you can use. You can also do the other way around, that you can go into a number and see I want to go into PR30. Then you actually get everything which is in PR30. And you see also there are very hierarchical structures where they are more and more defined as you add more codes to them. So this is different ways of doing it. So, but the simplicity for the BPMs, this is worth the whole hosting fee. You have everything inside. So we will actually play around with Omniclass. So we can do the same. We click on the database icon. In Omniclass, you have almost 7,000 different entries. And we believe that we should have something to do with the site. So you can see we got site products, which is most likely the best, or we can go deeper. We can say it's site furnishing. So this is very quick way, either if you know the code or you know parts of the code, or you know parts of the word, it's very easily to find actually database. So now I chose site furnishing and I will save this. So now we have a very interesting thing. I have modified, I have added information to the central server, to the single source of truth in my database. So that product is now saved. This also means if we go in and say we added Omniclass values, and I think that is enough description. This means I can now update the data set, and this is very interesting because now what happens is that regardless how many users that have downloaded this product, and this product now exists in thousands of projects and downloaded, now we have the ability with a BIMobject apps, which you see up here, we can actually now look for updates. And of course it's still the BIM users that take the action to do the update. But now we actually have, if we take a look again, we have version number 3 here in addition number. We also have no information about Omniclass code. But so we have 2 barracks. So by doing actually a check for updates, now we will make a comparison with the components in our project, local project, and we also will check with the server. And it turns out that we added Omniclass values version 4. We can now tell that we will update the product which is highlighted, or we would like to update all instances of this product. And of course we would like to do this. We do not change geometry, don't worry. Building information modeling is the complexity, and the update mechanism is about information. So this is only adding values and properties. And this will also mean that if we add a new classification system, let's say the Swedish co-class that soon is coming out, we can add that to the central server. 1000 BPMs have the ability then to update and add values for co-class, and then we can update basically 12 million products, which is already downloaded in projects. And every Scandinavian or Swedish project that will need co-class will automatically be updated with co-class. So let's have a look again, and if everything now works. We have the barrack. We can go through and we go and look at version number 4. Very good. And we go down and look at our classifications tab, and voila, we have only class code 23112900, and we have site furnishing, so it all works. Pretty amazing stuff. So that's actually how we do all that work. So let's go back to our keynote. So that was showing how we handle these things. So what's really important, and this is a little bit a message to all the standardization organizations out there, it doesn't matter how good your classification system is. If it's in Excel and paper, it's very cumbersome to use. You need to find these kind of platforms and distribution mechanisms that can take your standard to become a practically used standard. And today, BIMobject Cloud is the biggest platform on the planet. We are 500,000 professional BIM users at the moment. And this means that we are on the planet the biggest and largest distribution platform for classifications. So with this said, we ask you users, I mean, we will update the BIMobject Cloud with new classification system, new local standards. You just have to talk to us, and we will look at doing that. And this is a service we have which is centralized. So as soon as we implement a new standard, this will also be something that will come to everybody else. Every BPM that is working in that region will be able to use it, and every BIM user will be able to use it regardless where they work in the world. So that was end of chapter 2. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this episode about how we handle classifications.